What's going on, everybody? It's Dave Drakes with the Collective Experience, and we are back this week for another TCE interview. I'm really stoked because I get a chance to talk to my buddy, Mr. Jeff Crutcher. Jeff Crutcher, what's up, dude?
Yo, dude, you got a really good radio voice.
You like that?
Yeah, that's really high.
It's
That was
taken,
really
it's
like,
taken years to perfect, man.
you should be proud of that.
I am. Dude, I've been such a friend and fan of yours for probably going on year 2 years 2 years now, and you sent me a random text one day, and you're like, dude, I'm doing something really cool. I want you to be a part of it. And by the end of the conversation, I was so on board, so gung-ho. One of the coolest things that I've seen in terms of a development, sort of an undertaking or project in quite a while. And that's saying a lot because that's pretty much all this industry is. You started your own Arenacross team. And before people start, saying, oh, whatever, Arenacross is blah, 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 blah. The way Jeff's doing it is probably one of the coolest ones I can think of. Everything's just so professional, so over the top. And it's finally, like you and I just talked about off air, it's finally sparking like some interest and excitement around Arenacross. And I told you, I haven't had this much like anticipation and like just overall ampness, I guess you can use that word, for Arenacross since like Darcy Lange, Tommy Huffmaster, Josh Demuth, like, and that's going back to show my age. But
Right.
no, I'm really amped for the Arenacross season for 20 and 21. So let's just get into it, man. Like, how did you come up with, the concept of, hey, I want to start the Arenacross team, and what makes the, ATC Flipside race team just so much more exciting than the rest of them?
Okay, so I mean, like, I had a really good summer racing outdoors, locally, regionally, and I was just kind of like thinking, okay, how do I keep the ball rolling here? Because, dude, I have felt so good on the bike this year.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, well, there's the Texas Winter Series, but then we're still waiting until January, February to race that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe I'll go race in Oklahoma. Well, there's no real racing in Oklahoma because even then, like, it's cold AF outside.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I know what I have to do. I'm going to have to go race Arenacross. And
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I'm slimmed down. I'm on the program. I'm riding regularly.
Yep.
I'm in the zone, like mentally, like I have that like racer's edge that, you have to have that confidence.
Yep.
And it just clicked. And I was like, I know what I have to do. Like, I'm going to start getting on the program and I'm going to get a 250F
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to start hitting the local AX tracks and I'm just going to get ready. And then because I'm me and I go all gas, no brake with every like, just I can start out with like a grain of sand and then before it's all done, it's fucking Vesuvius. And so then, dude, I'm just full throttle peeling out. And then I'm like, okay, I need to hire a second rider. I need to get another motorcycle. I need, whole shot devices and I need this and I need that. And then I just started realizing, I'm like, oh, I have to have like a team. But if I'm going to have a team, it's not just me and my buddy and here we go,
Yeah.
off to the races, 99 beers a bottle, or 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Like,
Yeah.
to me, that's not it. Like, I want to have a team presence that rivals that of HRC, of Kawasaki, of, Star Yamaha.
Yeah.
And like, as Brent Rouse is a good friend of mine, and Brent has like a really good privateer program.
Yes.
And like, I love everything that Brent does, but like with it being outdoors and, him being out of a trailer and a van, I'm just like, dude, it's so much easier to go indoors and have that indoor pit and leave the vehicles outside,
Yep.
build out the pit exactly how we want it, with back walls and tables and, the bikes. And I'm just like, my whole dream is just like, oh, I'm going to have complete and total creative control over building the team, the way that it's going to look, the way that we're going to conduct ourselves on the track and off of the track. And then, I reached out to you because I'm like, well, we're going to need mechanics, like race day mechanics of right-hand men and women that like can help me because I'm operating as team manager. So I'm also meeting with the TV production people, the race promoter, you know, and like signing autographs as racer, you know, and like setting up my bike and all that. And I was like, okay, like if I'm going to do this, I'm biting off way more than I can chew.
Yeah.
And so I went to a couple of my people, Taz, that operates, he's the global brand manager for EVS.
Yep.
And then
Great dude.
Great guy.
Yep.
And then Austin Hoover at Fox Racing, global brand director. And then Ryan Holm at Cycle Zone. And we just started putting our heads together. And I'm like, we got to figure out a way to make this be so above and beyond what anyone else is going to do at Arenacross that it's like, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, to use the analogy of being the big fish in a small pond is incorrect. I want to be the only fish in the pond.
Yes.
And so like I've taken the mindset of how do I do this in a way that's never been done before? Mm-hmm. How do I reconceptualize what it means to be a team, and where does that foundation start? And what I realized is it starts with good relationships and quality partners.
Yeah.
You'll notice like I'd never say the word sponsor, because to me a sponsor is like a sugar daddy. Yeah. It's a one-way street. Like really only one person is benefiting out of that. We have partners with ATC FLPSDE. The thing about a partnership is it's a two-way street. It's mutually beneficial. Yes. Both parties are gaining something, whether it's, you know, strictly off of like a digital value or customer retention or new customers or engagement socially in person, you know. And there are partners that we're working with where it's like they want us to have one-on-one interaction and be able to mix bro science and ad copy together with anecdotal evidence, because they know that's what's going to sell their product. Mm-hmm. And so like the overall umbrella of the team is to just do it different than anybody else has. Yeah. And like then, you know, to circle back to it is like that's like a lot of nuance that goes into running an Arenacross team. And like you said, yeah, well, it's Arenacross, and like it's we don't even have the AMA designation. Like it's not a national championship. Yeah. But yeah, we have deeper talent, we've got more race entries, and we have better stadiums than some of the other series out there. Kicker has the AMA designation, and Kyle Peters was national champion, national Arenacross championship. National Arenacross champion last year. Yep. And like extremely talented rider. But then once you get past like 4th, 5th place at most of those guys, and it's just like, well, not to like discredit anybody, but it's like, who are these guys? Like, you know, are they local dudes? Do they follow in the series? Nothing. Yeah. But then like at Hoosier, at our series, dude, I mean, it is just like murderers row of like deep, like local guys. I mean, like the thing is at their series, they have a bigger fan turnout, whereas with the Hoosier series, it's more participant driven. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's like the racer series. And so we've got, dude, I mean, there will be 10 guys with their pro card on every gate every weekend consistently. And so like it's an extremely competitive series. Yeah. Now, are we hosting, you know, guys that are, you know, national champions, you know, like you drop Darcy Lange and or even, you know, going further back, Buddy Antonez and Demuth and Tommy Hoffmaster and, you know, the Shogun Yamahas and then the Budo Honda team. And like, you know, there were these teams, you know, and then what turned into Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Babbitt's Kawasaki, which became the most dominating force in Arenacross. Yeah. Those team names, like that started somewhere, mm-hmm. Okay? And I want to be the introduction in Hoosier Arenacross to start that cascade of like, you know, we're going to start getting these teams in, you know, more people are going to see what we're doing and be like, shit, we got to turn this up to 11. Yeah. These Crutcher and Yates and their ATC FLPSDE KTMs, like, we can't compete. Yeah. Now the thing is, with the first place they're going to say we can't compete is in the pits, not on the track. Like, yes, we're going to be extremely competitive out on the track, but like priority one is engagement, interaction, and then the one that starts with an A. God damn it.
Activation.
Sorry. What?
Activation.
Activation. Yes. Yeah. Engagement, interaction, and activation. Thank you.
That's one of the coolest things about like what you've done. It's like so many people, like you said, you have a, you know, people have good intentions, right? They want to do good in their races, they want to have sponsors, stuff like that, but they don't understand that the sponsors, like, they need something back as well. So I love the fact that you say partnership and not sponsorship, because it's mutually beneficial. You're getting what you need in terms of funding. The sponsor or the partner now is getting opportunity to get that ROI and investment through, whether, like you said, engagement, through activation, people seeing their product, your professional pit presence. That's huge for sponsors. I think people at all levels, even the 85cc mini people, you know, the local race, like, that's something you should look at when it comes to, hey, I need a sponsor. Look at it as more of a partnership like Crutcher's doing, where, you know, you're looking at how can I also benefit the people that are helping me out. So I think right there, you've already won, you know, in my opinion. People overlook that so much and they don't think about it. And I think you guys are going to knock it out of the park. I mean, I got a little sneak peek, and I'm telling you guys, it's professional as all hell. It's some of the coolest stuff that I would even have thought of to do stuff like this. It's so freaking cool. And you guys have amazing talent on the team too, so it's almost like you're winning, you know, twofold. Like I said, I'm excited for this, man. I haven't been as jazzed for Arenacross like this in so long, and I think it's really cool that you guys are hopping into the more talent dominated series, you know what I mean, where it is so deep. So when you guys do you know, really good, it says a lot more. It's not just, yeah, we got fourth, but really there's only like 3 lethal guys, you know. Like, no, like you said, every guy on the gate is like a monster. So it's gonna show a lot more. I think the fans will kind of see that too. Once, you know, if you're viewing this Arenacross series versus Hoosier, you're gonna be able to identify the talent and the better racing, and, you know, a little bit quicker pace, and it's gonna be more exciting to watch, I think. So I think this is great, man. Like you mentioned, you know, people being more of partners. Like, who are the bigger sponsors for the program?
So we have 3 partners that are really like have gone above and beyond, and that's ATC, which is the acronym for Around the Clock Fitness Centers, which is a chain of gyms in Western Tennessee, the Memphis area specifically. They see the vision of the team and their opportunity more on the digital side, especially as they gear up for like all gyms that January 1st release.
Yeah.
So they also just implemented these cool things called a hydro massage chair in all of their gyms, which they have 25 locations. And they put I think 2 beds in, or chairs in, every location. And it's, imagine, like, you remember those what are those goofball stores that they sell just like trinkets? Sharper Image. Okay, so you know how like Sharper Image has those chairs that like you'll sit back in, and it has like the kneading balls that go on your back and actually make you feel worse than whenever you sat down in it. But okay, so the hydro massage is essentially the same thing, but instead of it having mechanical, you know, whatever, that's just, you know, one size fits all.
Yeah.
You sit in the thing, and then it's like this pod that like envelops you. It feels like you get in like this goo, dude. And then it just like shoots water jets into you. It's like a water bed, but you're sitting upright, and it's, you know, doing all kinds of like freaking fireworks into your back, legs, shoulders. It does your arms on like their deluxe models. So ATC has these, and they're really going full throttle with recovery, because it's an all-around fitness center, not just, you know, we're lifting iron today. You know, I mean, they want to like promote, you know, the wellness lifestyle, and so much of that is centered around recovery. So we have this whole thing, you know, planned out, where we're going to go to one of the gyms whenever we're in Memphis and really combine motocross and the hydro massage chair at ATC Fitness.
That's awesome.
But they will benefit more on the digital side than they will on the physical side, because we only have 1 weekend in Memphis, and then Tunica is the nearest major city is Memphis, but you know, there will be market share there, but what we hope to get some in-person activation and maybe some new signups. And ATC, their representatives are going to come out and hang and get to see Arenacross, and they're all like big motorsports fans. You know, they love Formula One and MotoGP and, you know, the stuff that we're doing. And then you have Flipside, which I have both you and I have them right here.
Yep.
So the flip side here is a 20-ounce insulated beverage container, 20 ounces of fluid on one side, and then you flip the thing over, and on the bottom, I'm gonna take the lid off, and there's storage inside of here for snacks, nuts, candy bars. You could put money, cash, loose coins. A lot of mountain bike guys are putting CO2 cartridges in them. And then it's a one-stop shop when you're out on the trail. You just slide the thing into your drink holder on your frame rail, and you're off to the races.
Yeah.
This unit right here, yeah, I believe retails for $33. You can find it on flipside.com or on Amazon. Amazon, and it's FLPSDE. Ben with Flipside understands that the best part about his product is you just saw me use the entire product.
Yeah.
I can unscrew this side, take a sip, flip it over, grab some peanuts, and back on the road. It takes 7 seconds to operate the product. At every every Arenacross race that we're going to where we have our pit display, we're going to have a Flipside display set up with some tactical information about what the device is, and the bottom is going to be screwed onto the top of the thing, so then anybody can just grab it, flip. Oh, dude, what? That's awesome. How can I not have one of these? So, yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and break the news here for the collective experience.
Okay. Dropping some news.
Yeah, if you want to grab one of these, we have a race team exclusive discount code that you can use on flipside.com, and it's ATC Flipside 30 for 30% off your order.
Boom,
so,
there you go.
There you go. So that's again, it pays to be with the collective experience, and you get it first.
That's awesome.
So that's the flip side. And again, one more time, just so you have it, it's ATC Flipside, one word, and then 30 at the end of it for 30% off your purchase. Okay, so yeah, Ben, he understands the core demographic of motocross racers. Listen, we're always on the go. We got snacks, nuts, drinks, you know, whatever it is that we're taking to the motocross track.
Yep.
And you might even throw some extra bolts in here if, you know, you're going with your buddy, you know, have a full toolbox or something like that. It's just one less thing to carry. Plus, the fact of the matter is it's an insulated beverage container, same size as a 20-ounce Yeti. Half of the price, double the function. Yeah, and it comes in 6 different cool colors.
Yeah.
So that's the flip side. Then we have EVS, which is our knee protection company. Like I mentioned, Taz with EVS earlier.
Yep.
Taz has been a really big like guru for me as I've been navigating, you know, through the waters of marketing, entrepreneurship, being branding minded, and understanding not just from the racer and the team aspect of it, but from a corporation side of it, of like understanding, well, when I give you this, I expect this in return. And only if we are doing this out of both hands does it work for everybody. Yeah. So Taz helped me out a lot there. And then, you know, they are our knee brace partner. I am wearing the Axis Sports, and then Brandon is wearing the Axis Pros. The difference being, I have a really thick leg, like big old pieces of meat, tree trunks.
I'm glad you said that. So I was telling Taz and Jackson this past weekend, I couldn't get my thick tree trunk legs into the Pro, so I went with the Axis Sports, and I'm pretty damn happy with them, man. Like, it's not. I understand the need for the Pro for certain guys, but the Sport is like, you know, for the price savings, it's still a really good brace.
Right. Yeah. So it's not the entry level brace. The entry level brace is the RS9, which I think that they may actually discontinue that altogether because the Axis Sport is such a good brace at such a good price. Yeah. So the Axis Sport knee brace is what I'm wearing, and again, it's so the difference is it is totally not polypropylene. I can't remember what it is, but it is a plastic derivative material as opposed to a carbon derived material.
Yeah.
And because of that, it allows for more flexion,
Yep.
both in the top and the bottom. But the framing and the structural integrity of it is the exact same as the Axis Pro.
Yeah.
And then for someone like Brandon, who's a little bit taller, lankier, has a smaller knee, and really like, this is something Brandon and I discussed whenever we were talking about knee braces of what, you know, what he wanted to wear. And he's like, dude, you know, I've been in Asterix, like I want to have a similar brace. And I'm like, bro, I'll get you dialed with this carbon fiber pro.
Yeah.
And so we got him in it, and he's like, nah, dude, like this was an upgrade above my Asterix. And so like, he's super satisfied about that. And then like all knee braces require maintenance. That's the same as every other consumable part. And EVS manufacturers inexpensive replacement parts for your knee brace, which are, I can't remember the exact price on it, but whenever I looked at the EVS website, I was like, yeah, dude, this is, that's where it's at. So between those three, those are our, like, you know, major partners. And then, I mean, just going down the list, shit, I'm on the spot here now and I don't have it in front of me, but I can tell you right now, God, what an amateur hour program. So I can tell you right now that we're working with Pro Taper for handlebars and whole shot devices, which they have the new self-engaged launch assist button, which is going to be great.
Yep.
Then we have the Hoosier tire. Obviously, we're going to be running, I think that we're running the 25 front and the 20 rear.
Oh, okay.
My last couple times on the bike on the Hoosier have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I've heard from a few people that the Hoosier tire almost feels like cheating a little bit because you do get such good bite, especially in sidewall, which is, for me as somebody who's a little top heavy and constantly getting that non-linear feel like I'm going to slide out, that's paramount. So
absolutely.
I love that feel.
So, okay, here we go. I'm going to keep from blowing it here. Okay, so from, in no particular order, we're just gonna do this now that I've got it here in front of me. Okay, so Cycle Zone Power Sports is the official dealership of the team, and they carry KTM, Yamaha, Can-Am, and Roxor. And then Rip and Ruts, which is my brand, it's the sticker company. I did the whole creative process of the team. Everything that is printed, decals, banners, the tablecloths, everything, I did that. Fox is obviously our head-to-toe gear partner. We're wearing the new V3 RS. We have the View goggle. We're featuring in the airline tops and bottoms, and then the Instinct boot. And then we have paw tuctors, airline gloves, and then I feel like there was another glove that we have that I can't remember the name of, but we've got quite a bit of variety on the glove.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm a huge fan of Fox gear. It's just like, it just warms me at my core to know that. And so, like, you know, we were talking about how, you know, how like some of our partners, they want different stuff.
Yeah.
Fox has no brand representation of the Midwest and the Mid-South at all. And like, you think of Fox, you think Ken Roxon, Adam Sensarillo, Tim Geiser. You don't think Jeff Crutcher, Brandon Yates.
Yeah.
But the thing is we are going to a market where they do not have any presence at all, no brand representation. But you think of like the average person that's going to buy this Fox hoodie or a goofball Fox hat where they put, you know, the fishing lure crimped over the brim. Well, odds are they live in Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, you know, Texas, and you start going down the list of where it is that we're racing. Dude, it's Fox country out here.
Yeah.
So it was a very strategic partnership for them and our race team. Pro X, or Prox everywhere else outside of America, but Pro X is we're choosing to use Pro X sprockets, chains, brake pads, and brake rotors. So Pro X is a private label brand that sources manufacturing to major manufacturers, like top of the line stuff. Some of it's proprietary that I can't say who the manufacturer is, but I can tell you that the Pro X rotors that we have on our bikes are manufactured by MotoMaster. The
Nice.
difference being our rotors are a very affordable price, and they are heavy duty too. Like I specifically said, I was like, I have to have these thick rotors.
Yep.
Like the framing on them is so much more gnarly than what the OEM one is, which is a Galfer. We're going to be making contact. It's Arenacross. You know, there's going to be a lot of this.
Without
And so
saying.
like,
Yeah.
right, yeah. And so like the beefier the rotor, the better off we are of having a bent rotor out of
Yeah.
track. Obviously, we have you and the collective experience, and we're very excited to go down that road.
Likewise.
Race Tech is, they've got us dialed in with the gold valve, and then JH2 Route 15 Cycles out of Freeburg, Illinois is our install shop and our technical side of the suspension build.
Yeah.
Justin at JH2 has been an absolutely massive like part of this, and like they're already seeing it. We haven't even raced a single time, and just like from my 450 that I had done by them, and I wrote an article about it, like they have literally seen an uptick in their jobs of where people are bringing their suspension on. Hey, I read Crutcher's article on Swap, or I saw that you guys are doing the Arenacross team, you know, that kind of stuff.
That's so awesome to see, like that almost immediate, like, I guess, ROI from your partnerships. And you guys are using, like, all the guys you're listing, these aren't just janky mom and pop outfits, you know what I mean? Like, these are legit, like Fox, EVS, Prox. I mean, if you everyone knows Prox stuff, Pro Taper. I mean, these are high-end things. And plus you got the Race Tech Gold valves. I'm getting that in my bike in another couple of weeks. I've been working to get those for a little while to get my fat ass all situated.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, all these things are industry proven high-end things, which is another thing to gush about when talking about your team. So dude, super, like, hats off to you for wanting the best and really going out there. And like you said, like, you turned a grain of sand into Mount Vesuvius. I mean, that's super cool to see.
So to finish this out, we also have UFO for our plastic provider. So the cool part about UFO is it's Italian plastic that's being imported by Tough Racing, which is out of Chicago. And like, whenever you order UFO plastic direct, I mean, like, instead of your money being sent to some giant corporation, you know, .com, big box online retailer, you can order plastic through them, and you can actually use the code. Are you ready for this? You can use the code RIPPIN, RIPPIN, to save 20% on UFOplast. And I mean, you're only benefiting everybody by ordering UFOplast online. And that's another thing. So Prox and UFO are pronounced differently than it is here in America. So it's Pro-X and UFO.
Yeah.
And then, like I mentioned, Pro Taper. We also are partnered with Matrix Concepts. I still have to pay for some of the product, full disclosure, but I also learned that this year the Geico Honda team had to pay for their Matrix Concepts stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's
okay.
So,
that's okay.
But, so right now, I mean, like, you know, I have a budget, and our budget does not include, you know, purchasing rubber pit mats yet.
Yeah.
But whenever we do, they will be Matrix Concepts.
Awesome.
Bolt motorcycle hardware. So this is a Brent Rouse thing. He got me dialed in with Bolt. They have the axle block. Do you have the axle blocks on your bike?
I don't, but I've heard so many great things about them, man, honestly.
Okay. It is one of those things where, like, you know how you will do something and then you will, like, you're like, why did I wait so long to do this?
Yep.
It's like a $35 part that replaces those stock axle blocks, and it removes the extra nut that's required to tighten it. Dude, it makes, like, you know, whenever you just get done with a moto and you're just gassed and the sun is setting and you're like, oh, I want to go out for one more moto, but my freaking chain is loose. Screw it. I'm loading up. Yeah. Well, that's no longer an excuse, because, like, tensioning your chain is such a fast thing now with the Bolt axle block. It's a real deal. So we've got those on the bikes. Also, and then obviously, like, our preferred media partner is Swap Moto Live. Anton's going to come to the first race for sure and do race coverage and get us a bunch of tight photos at the first race. Sorry, I've been talking for like 5 hours.
No, you're good. You're good. That means the point. We want to find out more about, you know, in depth with the with the team, dude. That's sick. And again, Swap Moto Live is probably like the most, I guess, informative source of media that we have in the sport right now. A lot of, I mean, he has so many firsts, so many like, hey, Malcolm's the first one on the, on the Yamaha this week in the track here. I have the first exclusive on it, and the gas team and all this other stuff. So that's super cool, man. That's
okay. So also, this is something I'm really terrible about that I always like. I just see it and I just graze right over it.
Yeah.
The official beverage of the ATC Flipside team is Gimmick Coffee. So here in this bag, we have the medium roast, and here in this bag, we have the dark roast. Both are available in ground 12-ounce bags for $12 and $7.50 in shipping. Do I want to do free shipping? Yes, absolutely. But I'm a small business, and I don't ship 50,000 units per day, so I can't afford to do free shipping. But for $7.50, you get typically 2-day priority, depending on where you're at in the country. So yeah, Gimmick is my coffee brand. Just quick story about that. I was at the grocery store and holding 2 different bags of coffee, and both of them had the same exact thing inside of it. Yeah. One was $14, one was $9. And that's whenever it dawned on me, the $14 bag was just fancier on the outside. Yeah. So it makes you feel like you're getting something when you're not, and that's just a big gimmick. And then the name hit, I was like, I have to start my own coffee brand. And so I did. So yeah, it's gimmickcoffee.com, and honestly, no promos, no discounts on that one. It's good anti-bullshit coffee. The dark roast is the smoothest coffee that you'll ever drink, and then the medium roast is just like classic, middle of the road, like not super fancy coffee, but just hits home like that classic. Yeah. It's very similar to like a Maxwell Maxwell House or a Folgers, but not bitter, not shitty, doesn't make you have super bad jitters, doesn't make your stomach hurt like bad coffee does. This stuff is the real deal. It's designer coffee for like a, just like your entry level coffee drinker.
That's awesome, dude. So like another thing I like about you is like you're a jack of all trades. So you got the stickers, you got the team you're doing, you got Gimmick, dude. Like, how do you find time to do all this stuff, man?
Like, and then I also, then I consult for Fox. I also write for Swap Moto Live. Yep. I am kind of a branding coach there's a couple privateer riders that I work with and help them, in their negotiations whenever they're going to, their money guy and saying, hey, how do I justify this? How do I do this? Et cetera, et cetera. All in all, probably in an average day, I'll wear seven or 8 different hats. But with that being said, while I'm over here jockeying the flip side and slinging, Gimmick coffee, and then I'm on the computer doing, ribbon rights decals, and I'll be fielding a team phone call and, then doing, an interview like this, and then, mix it in my personal life with my girlfriend and, and then going and riding and racing and like all factors combined. Yeah. Dude, every single thing that I do, like it just elevates me and makes me more motivated to be better at each one. Yeah. Very rarely do I find myself getting lost where it's like, shit, dude, like, oh man, I totally blanked that one, entirely. Forgot about Gimmick for a week. It's never like that. It's just like, oh, how do I get these orders rolling out? Like I'm ready for Christmas, and that's another thing to any listeners. If you are looking for the perfect stocking stuffer, that bag right there goes inside of a stocking better than anything else that you're going to be putting into that big sock pinned up by the fireplace.
I agree. Another thing would be obviously the flip side. Yeah, this thing would be and I was talking to Crutcher driving to Kentucky this weekend. Mine came in the mail, and I just decided I'll try it out, put water in it, threw some trail mix in the bottom. Man, it was the coolest freaking thing. Like literally, I'm just playing with it. Like got my water, got my trail mix and stuff. And like you said, I have so many buddies. Like we're big into mountain biking right now because it's kind of end of the season. We still want to stay fit. It's a cool way to kind of get the moto feel without having to really like load up for your, the moto, the whole thing. Yeah. And all the parts and pieces that you have to try to hide in your frame or carry in your Camelback. And it's like,
Right.
dude, this compartment, I could have a couple, 8 and 10, 12 mil, a little wrench, my car keys, a card,
Yeah. You can
a
put
first little
this thing
bandages. Dude, it's great.
is built to fit a CO2 cartridge and a park tool right
Yeah,
in there. So I mean,
it's
you're
awesome.
dialed. Yeah.
It's
And then that way, then like you said, you're not toting around, every ounce that you have on your back, you feel, especially once you're,
yes.
like, essentially doing a VO2 max test out on like an incline like this, and like rock hopping, dude, that camelback, I mean, you feel it. And so like whenever this is mounted to the frame, it's far different. It's not as, it's just not on you.
I agree, guys. Go support the guys that support the sport. Crutcher, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the program that you and I have going on with
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
interns and mechanics for this. One thing that you kind of surprised me with was, you're like, hey, it's a 2-day event for Arenacross. Let's get these guys in for 2 days. More bang for your buck. You're almost getting close to a $500 value if you add up, 2 internship opportunities for the price of one, not to mention the connection that they're making with you, the professional feel of the whole thing. And then we're going to, up it, and everyone that signs up for the Arenacross program gets automatic entry. They're getting their second Supercross application fee waived, automatic entry into Supercross. It's almost, I feel like, for a lot of people, too good to be true, but kind of walk us through a little bit about like what you expect from each intern who signs up and some of the things that you're looking forward to with partnering up.
So one of the things that that I have in mind for the interns that want to be a part of the program, like I am really focused on getting them the professional experience of being on a team, and like no discredit to your privateers that you have, because that's an awesome program.
Yeah.
But like my shit's more about, hey, we have a pit to build out, we have inventory to do, we have a press meeting, we have riders meeting, we have practice, we have heat races, we've got the track party. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. So I built out like a full itinerary. Okay. And like with all the interns that want to sign up with the program, like, yes, obviously, if there's some type of emergency, traffic, your flight, whatever. Okay, listen, I get it. But this is an audition as much as it is an experience for you, because I have a race team to run. Okay. And like the last thing that I want to be doing is getting under the bike and scraping off mud claws, that I built up in practice, or, tensioning the chain, etc. I have other stuff to do. I have other interactions that I need to do. I want to be able to have a hands-off, like I need people that can come in. I don't need super, super technically inclined people, but I need people that can take orders and are okay with doing things a little bit differently than the way that they may necessarily do it.
Yeah.
I have a conduct contract, like, I mean, outside of just what TCE offers.
Yep.
Like whenever the interns, whenever they're finalized and they're in the program, okay, well, now you're on daddy's time. Like you gotta deal with me.
Yep.
And like, I'm going to send you, listen, we're on TV. We're going to be on MAV TV. And then we have something else. I cannot disclose it. I wish that I could right now. But there's something else that the series is working on.
Okay.
That's going to, it's going to boast it up real big. So like, I'm expecting, hey dude, show up on time, be prepared, look professional, be dressed for the job you want, not the job you have. So like the people that have contacted me, like, oh, dude, do you know of any teams that are hiring, that, etc. And I'm like, well, no, but I do know the segue to get you there.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever the time comes that Keith Pearson, my best friend, Zach Osborne's practice mechanic, whenever he calls me, he's like, hey, I know you did TCE. Who do you got? And it's like, oh, well, let me pull up my Rolodex here, and I've got 15 different people that participated in the program and are like gold, you know, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And then they're in, dude. But the thing is, you got to show up on time. You got to, like I said, I have ATC flipside contract is what I should say. I want people to understand, hey, this is a professional team that we're running. You're getting to be part of a professional experience. It's going to be a memory that you're going to remember for the very rest of your life, even if it's the only one thing that you ever do on a professional scale. As opposed to like, you know, outdoor nationals or Supercross where it's a one-day event. I mean, let's be honest. If you go to an outdoor national or Supercross, if you buy one ticket and then do the pit pass, and then you buy a hot dog and a beer, dude, you're in for $200 right there.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
So the price difference between being a casual fan and then literally being part of the show, like a necessary element to the success of my team, the price difference is so small, yet the net return on it is so astronomically big.
It is.
So
it is.
I'm looking for people that want to think of this as an opportunity for continued education, extended learning. Like, this is not just like, you know, this benefits me and my team. No. Like, there is no other segue to go from whether you're an MMI graduate or you're the guy doing A jobs at the local Cowie dealer. Like, how do you get in the industry if you're unfortunately in an area where you don't have that connection or you just don't have that relationship with pro riders, you know? And it's like, well, that's what we have. That's what, you know, the TCE is for. So like, then we can take your people, put them on my team, give them that professional experience. And then one of the major benefits of my team and my operation, after the races are over, okay, we're going to do on Saturday night, we're going to do like a recap, like a weekend recap with our team. And we're going to sit down and we're going to say, hey, you know, we did a really good job with X, Y, and Z, but we need to work on A, B, and C before you go work for, you know, Phoenix Honda, or before you go work for SGB Cowie, or you're gone working for, you know, Babbitt's Cowie, or you even land a gig at PC or something like that, you know. That's all in the pipeline, but it starts there. Additionally, and this is something that I'm offering, Jeff Crutcher at ATC Flipside Racing, if you sign up as a collective experience intern, if somebody wants to be part of the program and they go through our thing, and then whenever the time comes that they are applying for a job, regardless of what it is, if you are applying for a job in the industry, I will personally write a letter of recommendation.
That is killer.
If you show up on time, do the part, dress for the job you want. Okay, I mean, I mean, you know, I'm not just going to give out free tickets to, you know, the chocolate factory just because you exist. Like, you know, you got to put in a little bit of work. And like, there is a financial barrier to entry, but like on the scale of like all motorsports, dude, put this into perspective of like, you know, being the kind of guy that's, you know, wrenching for your buddy on late models or something like that. Dude, that's like the financial obligation in doing that, of being like a pit crew guy, just being the tire man on like a weekend warrior team. Dude, you are in. You're paying for your pit passes every weekend. You're having to take time off of work. You're constantly staying up late working on the car. Like, it is a 7-day-a-week operation, and you're still just at the local circle car track. Whereas, like, you know, in perspective, dude, we have Hoosier Tire Arenacross aired live on MAV TV. Okay, and we've got guys like defending champ Michael Hicks. We've got Grant Harlan, Brett Greenlee, both the ATC Flipside riders, you know, Yates and myself, and Preston Taylor, Justin Kelly. The list goes on of like some serious like heavy hitters. And you know, I mean, it's the full program, dude. And like, we are, as ATC Flipside, dude, we're so thrilled to be able to offer that experience to people that are serious about segueing into the industry. Like, this is like a full steam ahead injection of like getting in between you and between me. You show up, you put the work in, you give into the program what you want to get out of it,
Yes.
then you will. I mean, it's literally reap what you sow. But also, there are just some people that they just want to come and have a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, okay, that's fine. Still got to wear your black pants. Still got to be in the ATC Flipside shirt. Yep. You're still going to get the, the oral review at the end of the weekend. I mean, it's regardless, like it is set up to be this, like this is the program. Whether you like it or not, whether you just want to come and be goggle man friend, dude, totally fine.
Yep.
But this is what the program and this is what the expectations are. Exactly. And like, yeah, to anybody that wants to sign up, once you do the application fee and then select your round, we have 10 different cities all across the Midwest and Mid-South, 19 nights of racing. Only Dallas, which is Mesquite, is the only one that's one night of racing. And honestly, we'll probably end up going racing at Village Creek on Sunday just because we're already there. Yeah. But that's the thing, dude. It's like, we're in it, and like, we want people to come and enjoy themselves and reap something out of it from the experience, of getting to be part of a pro program. Plus, then you get all the benefits on the backside of it that you've set up, that Dave, you've set up, and then our letter of recommendation. Plus, you get to put mechanic, ATC Flipside Racing, Dallas on your resume whenever you're sending that in to Mitch and you're sending it to Roger and you're sending, because the thing is like, those guys know who you are. They know who I am. And like, whenever the time comes and I get that phone call, I'll be like, oh yeah, Bobby Johnson from Knoxville. Yeah, no. Solid dude, went through our program, was serious, had a good time, gelled well, was on time, put in the work, like, highly suggest that guy. Well, when that phone call comes, and it does often, especially from Keith or from Club, or from MTF, or from GPF, et cetera. Yeah. Whenever those phone calls come, if you didn't go through this program, I'm not going to know who you are. I'm not going to be able to refer you. Exactly. I'm not going to be able to say, oh yeah, no, I've got a guy. I've got 5 guys. How many do you need? And so like, that's where, this is where it starts. And to me, that's why it was such a no-brainer for us to put the team and, the collective experience together.
Yeah, no, I think it's again a partnership made in heaven, and you touched on so many great points that that I try to drive home with people when they do enter the program. In ATC and outside of ATC, it's so much about what you put into it. I'm so blessed that you have such a professional expectation and such a professional mindset going in, because that honestly, it's going to set them up for success when they go to that other team. You know what I mean? If they're, like you said, if they're just wrenching for their buddies and dicking around and doing all this other stuff, like you're not gonna have that, when the bike blows up and you're working for PC, what's the best way to handle that? Or, hey, how do I eloquently talk about this one problem on the bike to get, it's all of that plays into it. And I think you're setting people up for success, with the requirements you have for the team. And it's great. And people, they will get hired from this. People, they're all, I'm sure you get the DMs. I get them all the time. Hey, I want to work for a pro team. What does it take? This is it. This is your entry. And again, for the cost of a ticket, pit pass, and, your $30 hot dog and $20 cola, that's your entry. You know what I mean? You could be a fan in the stands, or you could be an integral part of a race team, making connections that you can't buy these connections, man. Like the ROI, the people you're meeting, the friendships you're going to build. Because Crutcher is hilarious. He's awesome, super nice. You're going to enjoy yourself. He's got, high expectations, but you're also going to enjoy what you're doing. He's really great to work with. All of that stuff, you're getting so much from just a small, barrier of entry, which is the funding that gets transferred, to the pro riders, to your team. One big thing about the collective experience is that we support the teams. It's not just, me lining my pockets with cash. It's we give that money back to the teams who are in our program to keep them functioning, keep them going, keep them supported. And these are the guys that need it. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited for this. Really, really excited.
An analogy that I like because I've had a couple people message me and they're like, I don't know, dude, that seems a little steep. And I'm like, well, think about it this way. Are you serious? Like, are you willing to do what it takes? do you take yourself, like, do you consider yourself a professional? Because as we all know, if I want to show up and race at Millville, I have to spend $275 on my entry fee. I have to spend $450 on my pro license, and I haven't even shown up to the track yet. Okay.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, yeah, there is a barrier to entry. If you want to be part of the program, if you want to be a professional, there has to be a barrier to entry, because if it was just free for anybody, then every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a dirt bike would just show up and pretend that they're a pro.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact thing for anybody that wants to be a mechanic, crew chief, industry personnel. I mean, that's the other thing, is like, a lot of people that go through this, like, they end up starting their own brand, or they've gone and often worked for, Maxima, or, or Canvas Racewear, or something like that. Like,
exactly.
There are a lot of people that you make that connection. It's like, oh yeah, no, like, my dude was, he was okay at spinning a wrench, but this motherfucker had a marketing mind.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, it's not just about, like, exclusively, can you spin an honest wrench? Like, yeah, we know you can. Okay. but it's all the other stuff, tenfold down the road.
Exactly. We've had
but
people
yeah,
that don't want to do some incredible, like marketing side, like you mentioned. Like, we've had people go on to work for FXR and Maxis and all these other great. We had 5 actually interns from 2020 season. We only had like 10 races in Supercross. 5 of our interns that wanted to be mechanics got hired like directly after their intern experience with us. Like, it's insane. Yeah, it happens so quick. And honestly, sometimes I do get kind of pissed, Crutcher, I'm not gonna lie, where I'm like, dude, I wish I had this program when I was like 18 or 19, dude. This is freaking killer. Like, I would have had to spend all this bull crap money trying to figure this shit out on my own. And like, dude, it's oh my gosh. But I think it's awesome.
Something else that I've noticed about the people that go through your program is, first off, it takes like a certain mindset. It takes a quality person. Like, I've noticed everybody that goes through TCE, like, they're already a good, like, the type of person that I want around.
Yeah.
Versus where, like, I could pull open the team DMs, as soon as I put out that graphic that said mechanics needed, inquire through the collective experience. Like, dude, I had so many people messaging me, hey, dude, what are you paying for mechanics? And I'm like, hey, dude, this is a first-year Arenacross team. My budgeting is minimal. I don't have budget to have professional mechanics.
Yeah.
If I did have the budget for it, my DMs are not where I'm hiring from. And I'm not, like, I don't care how much your buddy used to pay you to come around and man friend.
Yeah.
Like, I've had countless people like get pissed at me that I'm not like, just writing checks, and I'm like, hey, by the way, but like, this whole thing is coming out of my pocket, okay, like, to begin with. So it's no, like, do I want to be able to just right off the bat hire Brandon Zimmerman and then get Jay Dungy and like, my guys, and get Keith Pearson and Scuba and etc. Yeah, duh, dude, no joke. But also, don't forget, those guys were literally scrubs, like, whenever they started. Like, they were nobodies. Dude, Keith was my mechanic at a couple of outdoor nationals. And fun story, I mentioned something about an honest wrench earlier. So Keith was literally working on B jobs at Dell's Power Sports in Blue Springs, Missouri. And so he was doing, like, not the heavy duty motor work. Obviously could have, was like very, very well trained, very tedious, very like mechanic minded guy. I call Keith, and I had like hung out with him once or twice. And I'm like, hey, Keith, I need to ask you a serious question. And he's like, what's up, dude? And like, I'd never talked to him on the phone before, only like pitted next to him at the track once or twice. It's like, I've just heard a few things and I need to know something right away. And he's like, oh, what's up? I'm like, do you turn an honest wrench? And he's like, oh, dude, yeah, of course. Like, what? What's going on? I'm like, Keith, I need to know right now, okay? Like, yes or no. Are you quality? And he's like, yeah, dude, like, what's going on? Like, I was screwing with him so hard, dude. He was so screwed up. I'm like, okay, do you have any collared shirts? And he's like, uh, yeah, why? Like, do you have a Cowie shirt? And he's like, no, why? I said, well, if you're free on July 25th, I've got a Cowie shirt with a collar on it and a pit pass at Lakewood, Colorado, if you want to be my mechanic. And he's like, ah! Dude, just like lost in shit. He was so excited. And mind you, I don't even know if I was 20 at the time when, whenever we developed that. But then, now he's, my lifetime best friend. I don't even have to, I would gladly not talk to the guy for 6 months and we're still best friends. And like, dude, and like you develop that relationship with, a guy, that you mechanic with, and it turns into something. I mean, like Aaron Cole, Aaron from Delta, Utah.
Yep.
Aaron was my TCE guy at Washougal last season. Mm-hmm. And like, dude, now we're like this. I mean, we're all talking all the time about coffee and dirt bikes, and he's got his suspension shop and, his technical stuff that he's doing. And he's like, I don't know if he's reached out to you, but he's like,
dude, all the
he's
time.
pulling up his calendar. He's like, hey, yeah. But he's like, oh, dude, I gotta do this. Like, I'm budgeting and figuring out which one of these races I come to.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing, is like you build, it's a lifelong memory, and like, circling back to the story about Keith. So then we went and did a handful of outdoor nationals and like just had a great time. And then Keith was back working at the Cowie shop, and my brother-in-law, who was kind of doing a little bit of athlete management just here and there. There was a kid from Indiana named Eric Goodson, and my brother-in-law Eric called me. He's like, hey, Goodson needs a mechanic. What's Keith like? And I'm like, dude, he's literally the ultimate wrench. Like, he can do full motors, like full motor rebuilds. And he's like not so hardcore that he can still swap oil and air filters and be fine. Like, what's up? And Goodson was riding for the amateur Rockstar Suzuki team at the time. So like the motor rebuild thing wasn't a big deal because they had an engine builder with Suzuki. But Keith, I call Keith and I'm like, hey, remember those 3 races we did last year? Well, pack your shit up. You're going to Indiana. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I got you a job. He's like, no fucking way, dude. I'm like, yes, this is how this works, Keith. So then he packed his shit up, moved to Indiana, worked for Eric for like a year, maybe more. And in that time, while he was working for Goodson, they went to what is now Moto Sandbox, which was Villapoto's old place. And he got in tight while there with Eric Grondel, and then RJ Hampshire, and then Ken Roxham, and then Zach Osborne. Okay, so like there's a ladder there, dude. But like, not to like toot my own horn, but if I wouldn't have called Keith in 2009 and said, hey, do you want to go to these outdoor nationals? And like, he literally got like I said, the golden ticket to the chocolate factory when I called him. Just by way of, all kinds of olive branches and shit. But but he was motivated, and he took that job in Indiana for $400 a week plus like living expenses or whatever it was. Like, he wasn't making dick. But look at him now. Keith is like, I mean, he is riding the gravy train on biscuit wheels working for Zach.
That's so awesome. You mentioned it. It's the connections, it's the experience, it's all those things in this sport. It's so highly driven of who you know and who knows you. And this is such a great opportunity to get in with people who are in the know, who have these connections that can literally springboard you into a career that people literally only dream of. There's only how many really, full-time mechanics that really make a really good living for themselves. You could be one of those guys, down the road. So guys or gals, I should say. So yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I'm so amped that again that we get to do this, and like the approach you're taking with it of being just so professional and so of the mindset of really helping the interns get to that level as long as they're willing to put in the work and willing to, really follow suit with what the team actually needs. I'm excited, man. I think you're doing a phenomenal outfit. One thing I'm really amped on is you guys are actually really good riders. For people that are starting a team and that are so focused on the business side, you guys are really like solid. Like, what's the schedule been like with you guys riding? Because I saw a video of Yates, and the dude's not slow. I haven't really heard of him before, but he's got talent as well as yourself. Like, what's that been like to hop on these new bikes and kind of get the kinks worked out?
Okay, so mind you, this 250F that I'm riding right now that came from Cycle Zone, it's my first 250F in 12 years.
Oh,
so yeah. Not only am I like relearning a motorcycle, with 40 horsepower,
yep.
Or whatever it is, but also, getting back on Arenacross tracks, which the last time that I raced in AMA Arenacross would have been '08. So again, 12 years. So like this is a very big learning experience for me all over again.
Yeah.
What I have going for me is solid technique and confidence going into it. Like, I know that I'm going to ride well. Yeah. And that's 95% of riding well. Like, I just know that I'm going to. Brandon is resting on his laurels of just raw talent. Like, the kid, like some of the shit that he does on a motorcycle, I'm like, whoa, dude. And like, how did you pull that off? Like, it's straight up like Stewart like level shit on a local level. But I'm just like, damn, dude, am I so psyched to have him, as my guy. Plus, like, he's one of those guys, like, when you watch him ride, you think, oh, he's got to be the biggest, like, fuck boy, goofball, like, running around in like an Audi. Just, he has that like super flashy, like new age, hold the throttle wide open in the air 250F style. Yeah. Soon as he takes the helmet off, dude, I mean, he is like, oh, shucks, man. Like, thanks. He grew up on a dairy farm. I mean, like right now, what time is it? It's 7:30. Okay. So 15 minutes ago, he probably just got back in from his second shift on his parents' or his family dairy farm, Yates Dairy. And yes, he was out there running the machines, dude. So like, Brandon is like platinum character. Like, when it comes to the very best, like, sometimes I'm like, are you like a little fairy? Like, I want to put you on my hand and just look at you. You're so like such a nice boy, and then you have me, this old battle axe, that's like been rode hard and put away wet for 25 years in motocross. And then Brandon's just this little sprite with blonde hair, and it's like, it's so funny because you have like the Intimidator and then, the Rainbow Warrior combining together for like the best of both. He's a great guy to have on the team. And like, just his personality, dude. Like, I fucking love hanging out with the kid. I could hang out with him and just like, honestly, listen to the dumb questions that he asks. Dude, fucking guy. Like, you can't ask that question. But it's so like, it's so genuine, and the kid has so much integrity. And like, but I've never wanted to help somebody before, as much as I have him. And we went racing together last year and did a bunch of races in Oklahoma just cause, and like, I mean, I was like, this is my fucking guy. Like, I want to help him any way that I can. Yeah. After saying all that, I kind of forgot what your original question was.
No worries. You kind of answered it, like what it's like to, get back in the swing of things on Arenacross, and with what it's been like, and how's it feel to work out the kinks and stuff.
Okay, so that's the other thing. Is like, for me, the main thing is like focusing on my breathing. I'm a very like breathing centered rider while riding. Like, that is one of my core techniques of. So just how, like, think of like, doing like a lateral press or something like that, dude. You make this motion. You're out on the bike and you're going like this when you're braking in like that braking attack position. Yeah. You're pushing literally with the palms of your hands. Your fingers aren't even on the bars really. and you're pushing like this, the same resistance that you would with a lateral push or like just a regular ass push-up.
Yeah.
Whenever you do those, you go, and you breathe out. Whenever you're on the weight rack, so why wouldn't you do that while you're on the dirt bike? Same exact thing, dude. Yeah. So like when I'm going through the whoops, I'm like in through my nose, and then on exit, as soon as it's cornering time, dude, I'm breathing out because I'm under, you know, the body is under stress. You're compressing, everything's going like this. As soon as you pop off of the jump face, straight back in. Okay, so like that's like you see guys in Supercross, like the mechanics are always holding out the pit sign that says breathe on.
Yeah.
And like a lot of guys, you know, that first get into racing indoor stuff, they talk about their breath work and how important it is. Dude, it takes days to get into that like flow of being able to manage obstacles that are like this and remembering the basic fundamental of breathing, which like you fall asleep breathing without even think about it. Like it is such, you know, such like an involuntary act that it's like you never think about it. Yeah. Also something that I'm really big on is reading, and I have this book here called Breath by James Nestor. This book right here should be on everyone's bedside, on top of their Bible, honestly, because this thing is like the amount of information about these two things right here and this right here inside of this book, dude, it's like unbelievable. Wow. So this book taught me a lot about focusing on breathing. So that's my main thing, like is focusing on my breathing. And I noticed yesterday while I was riding at Chris Thesis' house, or his training facility, I should say, dude, I mean, he has full scale AX track and there's no start straight. So you have 4 lanes of rhythm, whoops, catapult, and another rhythm. And like, dude, there's no breaks. The only time you can break is while cornering. You know, which is, that's no time to take a break, you know, but it's just like, yeah. And then, you know, that he had a like a full scale Supercross triple and then the catapult and shit. No, you're breathing in, but you're also, you know, you're jumping and you're looking at your line and getting your foot out and then bringing the bike down, you know, at the same time and just putting all these things together. That's a lot. Like, so for me, putting all that together, plus I'm on a motorcycle I haven't rode in 12 years. Yep. You know, plus I'm still getting used to 4 strokes. Plus I'm on Arenacross suspension. Plus, you know, I start adding all that shit up. It's like, dude, there's a laundry list of stuff to learn here.
So many variables coming at you.
Yates is also, right, yeah, Yates is also on the same program. Plus we're now both riding with Hoosier spec tires. I mean, it's like, okay, you know, another thing. So Yates, he's coming in. Where he has to work on is his like base technique, especially in the whoops, and bringing that talent down from 11 to like 9.5. Yeah. Because dude, like I said, we have 19 nights of racing, 2 main events. Okay. So we're talking, what is that? 38. Is that right? Yeah. 38 main events that we are expected to be out there competing for the win, you know, and like raw talent is not going to do that. Like if we're going to win a championship, we're going to do it. And we've all heard Ricky say this before, but it should be, you know, written on a stone tablet. You win your championships on your bad days. Yeah. And if Brandon's bad days are where he's not out on the track because he didn't qualify because he fucking threw it away in the whoops and the LCQ or something stupid like that, well, we need to rethink what we're doing here. So like we've been getting in the groove and I'm trying to like explain to him, hey, whoa, let's fucking pump the brakes here. Like we have a lot to work on here. Big picture, 38 main events, 19 nights of racing, 10 different cities. You know, we're going to be in the vehicle a lot. Our bodies, you know, we're going to be on the road, eating Chipotle like 7 days a week, 25 hours a day. Like this is some next level, you know, what we're going to be putting our bodies through, sleeping in hotels, you know, et cetera. Like, so there's so much factored in and it's like, dude, we cannot win this championship on practice day. We cannot win this championship on, you know, on the first round, on the first night, like on the first lap. Let's think about this big picture. You know, when we're in Tunica at the finals, that's whenever we'll chill. That's whenever we'll ride on talent. That's whenever, you know, that's whenever we can go back to, you know, rest on our heels with that or on our laurels with that. But until then, no, dude, like it's it's grind time, you know, and like there's a lot of this on an Arenacross track because so much of it, dude, there's so much gamemanship, you know, in it, dude. It's fucking 4-dimensional chess out there while you're racing, of, you know, mastering the bike, the track, the other riders, and then just factoring in all possible liability, you know, while you're racing for, you know, 10 to 15 laps on a track that's, you know, Supercross in a bottle, you know. But yeah, so I mean, we have plenty to work on. The transition from going outdoors back to Arenacross for the first time in a long time has been so good so far. I was really, really comfortable with the way that I was riding yesterday at Thesis Compound. And, you know, I sent you the GoPro video. Dude. And like, it's one of those things where like, when you're out there and you're first person and you're just, you know, your tunnel vision and like going through your, you're trusting the process and you're going through, you know, all the motions. You don't realize until you get off of the track and you're like recollecting of like, holy shit, dude, I just rode 12 laps without making a single mistake, you know. And
isn't that such a cool feeling?
Yes. And then you watch the GoPro and it's like, hey, dude, no, like mom, we don't have to take the trash out anymore. Like, you know,
That's awesome.
Take the slippers off, you know, we're good, dude. And so it's just like, you know, it's just seeing that kind of stuff happen. But I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have been able to have that day without those Hoosier tires, without that Sunoco race fuel, without the, you know, my Doug Henry Ben Pro Taper handlebars, you know, and like you start to put it together. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm not just out here like, you know, waving the green flag for all the brands that we're representing. No. Like we hand selected. I had a fucking stack of companies we could have worked with. Yeah. But I handpicked everyone. This is the best of this. This is the best of this. I mean, like, not to like say that one company is better than another whenever it comes to chain and sprockets, but you know, there's a reason we're running Pro Taper handlebars and Pro Taper whole shot devices, but then Pro X sprockets, chains, brake pads, and consumables. You know, because we're hand selected. I'm building a package here. Exactly. You know? And then whenever I go out and ride, and I've got, you know, the Maxima coolant all on my bike, I've got the Pro Plus 4 10W30 that I'm running in the clutch. I've got the Recluse clutch. I've got, you know, like, and then the Pro Taper, you know, grips, like where I'm physically connecting to the motorcycle. Yeah. And then I've got, let me drop another sponsor in here, the Nobby Shop South Nobby Shop South seat covers. Okay, like all that, dude, all that stuff goes into, like, people think of like a custom built motorcycle, dude. We've got them. Yeah. Brandon has a twisted development motor with the freaking Vertex ECU or whatever it is. Yeah. And you know, and then the tuned or mapped to his race fuel, or to our Sunoco race fuel. And dude, it's like, whenever we line up, dude, I don't care about Grant Harlan. I don't care about Michael Hicks. I don't care about Brett Greenley. I don't care about Justin Kelly. Dude, those guys are all my friends, you know, but like, this is not, dude, where's my car? We're not talking about the Continuum transfunctioner. Their mystery does not exceed their power. Like, we are here to race motorcycles. We drop the gate, you know, every moto. Okay, like this has to happen. There's a reason we line up. There's a reason we drop the gate. Yep. And we're all able to participate in this thing because of our partners and because of the collective experience and the interns that want to come to us. So like, there it is. There's the full circle program. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I'm so excited for this. And the way you're approaching with the riding, the business, and handpicking your parts, the people that you want to work with. I really think, am I just saying this because, you know, we're partnering, we're buds. I really think you're kind of redefining what it means to be a supported team, what it means to be a team in the first place, and how to best have a great presence. And again, on top of that, you guys are actually talented. So I mean, that's a whole other aspect. But I'm really amped for this, man. I think you and Nate are going to have such a great showing. I'm really excited to get to a couple. Obviously, with the COVID restrictions and work and stuff, going to be tough to get to everyone. But I'll make sure to get my ass there to quite a handful. And guys, if you are interested in getting to the next level, having a career in the industry, working with top level people, getting the hands-on experience, getting behind the velvet rope, getting a chance to make connections that can literally springboard you into one of the coolest careers that God has created on this wonderful planet. Check out what we have going on, guys. thecollectivexp.com. You will see under the experiences tab, you will see our Arenacross internship program. You'll see a cool picture of Crutcher getting sideways in a KTM. It's super dope. And it literally lists out everything for you. Don't hesitate to send us a DM, an email at contact@thecollectivexp.com. I'll explain the whole thing to you and walk you through it step by step. Really amped, Crutcher. Thank you for the time. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this great undertaking. Thank you for all the connections that you're definitely going to make for all of our interns. I'm excited. I'm amped. And, dude, you're going to rock it.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. And again, I mean, everything that you just said, we're on board with.
I'm excited. All right, guys, take a look at it. Be sure to follow ATC Flipside team. Follow Crutcher. Follow Yates. We're going to put the description below for all the cool promo codes and how to follow these guys and what the team's about. And guys, stay tuned for more awesome content from myself and the Collective Experience.